Hey, we're embarking on a really fascinating linguistic journey. We're going to be peeling back the layers of everyday American English. Our mission really is to unravel these hidden meanings, these surprising nuances you find in real-life conversations.
Yeah.
We want to give you a fast track to understanding how people really speak.
Yeah.
With all the colorful, sometimes confusing idioms and slang.
Exactly. It's a dive into how seemingly simple words can take on, well, frankly, astonishing new lives.
Right.
And why deciphering them often means tuning into something deeper, like a cultural frequency maybe. It goes beyond just the dictionary definition.
Okay, so let's jump straight into it. The delightful chaos of modern slang.
Always fun.
It's a classic case, isn't it?
Yeah.
What someone says versus what they actually mean, and the confusion that can create.
Oh, definitely.
We saw this in one of our sources. A mom hears her child just exclaim that a new restaurant on King Street is bomb.
Oh.
And naturally, her immediate thought is, a bomb. Good heavens, my child can't go there. You could just imagine the panic, right?
Total panic. And it's a perfect illustration of what linguists sometimes call semantic inversion.
Okay.
Where a word, often one with a strong negative vibe, flips completely. It denotes extreme positivity.
So bomb just means really good.
Exceptionally good, yeah. Or awesome.
Yeah.
So good it metaphorically blows you away.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
So for you, the listener, recognizing these pretty dramatic shifts is essential for navigating casual speech without having a literal panic attack.
Exactly. And we see this, again, this sort of playful inversion with the word fire.
Right.
A son tells his dad, those new shoes are fire.
Uh-huh.
Dad, picturing actual flames,
Understandably.
asks, fire. Wait, are they? Are they on fire?
Yeah.
And of course, the son quickly clarifies, no, Dad, they just look awesome. Cool. Undeniably stylish.
Which, I gather, made the dad pretty happy, especially after his wife had apparently called him a walking fashion disaster.
Apparently so. A small victory. It's a similar phenomenon with lit, right?
Very similar.
When a friend describes a party as lit, someone who doesn't know the slang might genuinely wonder, lit? Like with lamps? Electricity?
You could see why they'd think that. But
Yeah.
no, it conveys something like vibrant, exciting, energetic.
So a party that's really alive, not just well illuminated.
Nicely.
And then there's sick. Now, this word seems remarkably versatile.
Oh, it is very flexible.
Initially, it's used as just an outright compliment for an awesome outfit that is a sick outfit you're wearing. Straightforward enough.
Yeah, positive.
But then the conversation takes a little turn. When the same person mentions spending, get this, $200 on the jacket,
Okay.
his friend responds, now that is sick.
Ah, okay. So a shift there.
Yeah, here sick seems to transition from just awesome to something more like extreme or impressive, maybe even outrageous.
Especially when contrasted with the friend's own splurge. What was it? $100 on fancy chicken wings?
Right, exactly. So, okay, let's unpack this. How do these words even get these pretty wild new meanings?
Well, what's fascinating here is how quickly language evolves, especially in, informal settings. These words are really about conveying intense positive emotion.
Okay.
A bit like saying something blows you away, like we said with bomb. For you, the listener, understanding these shifts is just crucial for truly connecting in casual conversation.
It feels like they're acting as intensifiers.
That's a great way to put it. They're not just descriptive, they're about conveying a high degree of emotional impact, whether that's admiration, excitement, or even, like in the second sick example, a kind of incredulity.
Right.
And this isn't random evolution usually. It's often a process called semantic shift, where words take on new meanings through metaphor or hyperbole. Understanding this lets you see the mechanism behind the slang. It's not just arbitrary.
Okay, so we've seen how single words can surprise us. But what about when entire phrases seem to shed their literal meaning completely? How do we even begin to navigate those linguistic puzzles where the words don't mean what they say?
That really raises an important question, doesn't it? How much are we relying on shared cultural understanding rather than just pure definition?
A lot, I'm guessing.
A huge amount. Many common phrases are highly idiomatic. And for you, the listener, the strongest clues almost always come from the context.
Like what?
Like, who is speaking? Where are they? What are they doing? It's less about decoding individual words sometimes and more about grasping the whole situation.
Okay, a perfect example is totally beat. We saw this one. After an incredibly long, rough day, someone sighs, man, I'm totally beat.
Exhausted.
But her friend, momentarily caught in the literal meaning, asks, wait, did someone hit you?
Oh dear, no.
No, no one hit her. It just means super tired, exhausted to the point of collapse, basically.
Right. Or take don't flake when someone says, just, please don't flake on our plans tomorrow.
You might think of snowflakes or peeling paint.
Exactly. You might conjure images of snow or something breaking apart. But the real meaning is simply, don't change your mind and not come.
It's quite a vivid metaphor, though.
It is. It paints this picture of something insubstantial, easily broken or dismissed, which kind of perfectly captures that feeling when someone lets you down by just not showing up.
Yeah, that fits. And, okay, how about this? The music at a party is slow, maybe boring, and you hear someone mutter, "Let's bounce."
It means let's leave. Simple as that.
No actual bouncing involved.
None whatsoever. Similarly, if someone says, I'm down to chill this weekend, and their friend asks, down, where? Your basement. They just mean they want to relax, hang out. It's not a direction, not a literal location.
Okay. And then there's salty. This one comes up a bit. When a manager isn't thrilled about time off, a friend confides, my boss was kind of salty about me taking time off.
Right. Not about needing more salt for their lunch.
Definitely not.
Okay.
It conveys being annoyed or grumpy, maybe even a bit resentful.
Yeah, it speaks to an underlying emotional state, not, a physical taste.
And my personal favorite, touch grass.
Yes. A newer one.
When someone's maybe avoiding social interaction, perhaps been online too long, their friend advises, dude, just go outside and touch some grass.
It's not a literal instruction to go fondle the lawn.
No. It means, engage with reality, right? Get some perspective, re-engage with the physical world.
Exactly that. Get out of your head or off the screen.
So here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
How do you even begin to guess what these mean if you don't already know? Is it just guesswork?
Well, as we've seen, mastering these phrases requires you, the listener, to kind of shift your interpretive lens, move from the literal to the metaphorical.
Okay.
It's about recognizing when language is being used more expressively rather than strictly descriptively, and then letting the surrounding situation, the context we talked about, guide your understanding. It's not always easy, but context is key.
So what does this all mean then for our own daily communication? I mean, these dialogues aren't just about funny words. They seem to reveal these intricate dynamics of how we interact every single day.
Yeah, absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, these conversations really highlight that communication is, well, it's a dynamic process.
Not just sending information back and forth.
Not at all. It's about navigating subtle social cues, anticipating potential misunderstandings, like with bomb or fire, and just being adaptable in how we express ourselves.
Right.
So for your own communication, this means actively listening, not just to what is said, but how it's said, and trying to get at the underlying intent.
We saw how much active effort goes into avoiding miscommunication sometimes, like the parents needing to clarify bomb or fire.
Exactly. It's not just about knowing the definition. It's about having the social intelligence, maybe, to spot a potential misunderstanding and proactively bridge that gap. That's a vital skill for any successful interaction.
Yeah, definitely.
And with the salty boss example, it's not just about the word salty. It's about the subtext, the nonverbal cues, maybe. The listener's empathy for why the boss might be irritated.
Right. That understanding affects everything.
It dictates how the receiver processes that word and its implications for the whole work vibe. It reveals how profoundly our emotions influence communication.
And we can't overlook those classic expressions of regret and missed opportunities. The shoulda, coulda, and woulda phrases.
The trifecta of regret.
Like someone who caught a cold saying, I should have taken an umbrella.
We've all been there.
Or the person regretting not asking Linda out sooner because she went back to her hometown for 2 months. I really should have invited her to go out sooner.
Yeah, and the utter exhaustion after a demanding workday. Oh man, I could have slept standing up. I was so tired. It's so evocative.
It is. Or the frustration of the person whose husband forgot to mention their dinner guests were vegetarians. Oh, I'd have made a salad if I'd known they were vegetarians. You can just hear the exasperation.
You really can. And these aren't just simple past tense statements, are they? They are linguistic markers of reflection. They show how past actions or inactions can weigh on us. It reveals a very, very human tendency to reevaluate our choices.
And even seemingly simple things like practical information exchange, they reveal these unspoken assumptions we make in everyday communication.
How so?
Well, take the hilarious anecdote about Robert's lost glasses. Everyone's searching frantically, right? High and low.
Yeah.
Only for them to discover the glasses were on his face the whole time. Apparently, he'd gotten thirsty, had a Coke at night, put them on his head, and forgot.
Oh my goodness. That's brilliant.
It is. But it's not just funny. It powerfully illustrates how deeply our initial, sometimes flawed assumptions can influence an entire interaction.
Right, because everyone's search was based on Robert's communicated premise that they were lost.
Exactly. It's a comedic reminder, really, of the importance of verifying even seemingly obvious facts in a conversation sometimes.
That's a great point. And of course, there's managing social expectations, confirming attendance for a graduation party, even though there was a funeral to consider, or clarifying that a birthday pool party requires bringing a side dish and a bathing suit.
These aren't just logistical details, are they?
No, not at all. They are subtle negotiations of social contracts. They reflect the unspoken rules and considerations that help our connections function smoothly.
So what's the deeper takeaway here? When we look at all these everyday narratives, they seem to cover so much of life.
Well, what's fascinating, I think, is how these seemingly small linguistic nuances, the slang, the idioms, the way we phrase regrets, they're woven into the very fabric of daily life.
Mm-hmm.
They touch on our aspirations, our challenges, our relationships. So for you, the listener, understanding these conversations isn't just about learning vocabulary.
It's more than that.
Much more. It's about gaining insight into the shared human experience, really. Seeing the common threads that connect us all through the way we talk.
We definitely hear about the constant dance of work-life integration in these snippets.
Yeah.
Like the person taking on 2 jobs with a Chinese company, specifically for flexible work in English education. That highlights the modern need for adaptability, the fluidity of employment today.
Absolutely. Or, on a smaller scale, the simple frustration of someone missing a meeting just because they weren't added to an email list.
Oh, a classic communication breakdown in the digital age. So common.
So common. And then there's the very real struggle of dealing with work challenges. We heard about the person who had just a rough day.
Yeah, that was a lot. Car breakdown.
Late for a meeting.
Son got into a fight at school.
All leading to feeling totally beat naturally and their boss being, quote, a pain in the neck.
Paints a picture.
It really does. Or the sheer exhaustion of someone else working overtime and having 4 meetings in a single day. These narratives reveal those universal burdens and stressors of modern life, and how language becomes the vehicle for expressing that fatigue, that stress.
We also get these really intimate glimpses into family dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
The lighthearted banter about the father's fire shoes, contrasting with his wife playfully calling him a walking fashion disaster. That shows affection through humor, doesn't it?
It does. Or the mother finding her son's glasses on his head after he was thirsty and drank Coke at night.
Yeah.
That's just a moment of shared, totally relatable domestic chaos.
Totally. And the beautiful support shown by someone changing movie plans because their partner had an important job interview.
Yeah, that shows real empathy, doesn't it? Prioritizing someone else's success like that.
It really does. Then there's the theme of personal goals, future plans.
Right, the dreams.
People saving money for a trip to Peru or saving up to open a flower shop. These reflect aspirations, things people are working towards.
And the young people planning to go to university in the UK, maybe rent an apartment together. That speaks to ambition, the excitement of independence. These are the narratives of life's forward momentum, all captured in these conversational snippets.
And how about our social engagements? They pop up too.
Like what?
Well, the casual discussion about a company trip to Thailand, specifically Phuket, or the delicate navigation of attending a graduation dance, even though there was a funeral around the same time.
Tricky situations.
And the straightforward fun of throwing a birthday party, a pool party where you need to bring side dishes. These all highlight how language facilitates our social connections, right? From workplace camaraderie to personal celebrations, it weaves the whole social tapestry of our lives.
It really does. What's truly compelling, I think, is how these everyday conversations, which seem so simple at first glance, actually encapsulate this huge spectrum of human experience.
From work anxieties
to family bonds, personal aspirations, social rituals. Language is the thread that connects and expresses it all. It's quite amazing when you look closely.
So we've gone from the playful twists of slang like bomb and fire and the nuanced puzzles of idioms like touch grass, all the way to these deeper currents of human interaction itself. Understanding these everyday nuances really does feel like a shortcut sometimes. A shortcut to being well-informed and maybe connecting more deeply.
I think so. And maybe a final thought. Remember that language isn't just a tool we use. It's a living, breathing reflection of our lives.
Right.
So for you, the listener, maybe consider how often we use words without truly seeing the complete picture they paint for someone else, and how much richness, or indeed how much confusion, that can ultimately create.